Yo, good morning, peeps. It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard. Saturday morning, heading to work. Not quite as bright and shiny as it's been. A little bit colder today here in Portland, Oregon. Today, I want to answer a question that I saw on a message board. A guy says, hey, look, I'm working private security and I don't want to be a police officer. He said that he's going to ultimately get into EMS, emergency medical response, or however that is. He wants to get into EMS, and that he has found a certain niche in private security. I don't know exactly where he's working, but he said that he really enjoys what he does. He enjoys, the aspects of the job that he's currently working. I can relate to that. But he asked a question. He goes, I want to get a degree. What degree would best benefit private security? So keeping in mind that he's ultimately going to go into EMS, wants to keep his options open for private security, and doesn't necessarily want to be a law enforcement officer at the moment. So as somebody who just recently graduated, clearly this was a question that I thought I would tackle. A lot of people, when they're thinking about degrees, if you're even thinking about getting a degree working in the private security field, most people lean towards criminal justice, right? Because your natural instinct is like, well, you're not necessarily law enforcement. I mean, you're not law enforcement, but you're law enforcement adjacent. And so if you have anything to do with criminology in any aspect, having a criminal justice degree would be of benefit. And I can't say that that's necessarily wrong. I think that if you are working in the private security field and you're looking to potentially go into EMS, I think that even though you've made the decision at the moment that you don't want to be a police officer, I think that if you stay in both of those fields long enough and you're young enough, that might be something that you want to do maybe down the road. So I think that having a criminal justice degree, number one, I think having a criminal justice degree would probably be your best bet. Now, the benefit of a criminal justice degree and every other degree that I'm going to bring up is that you don't have to just use them for private security. You don't have to just use them for law enforcement. You can utilize any of these degrees for, a whole host of jobs, right? Another great degree that I would say is a communications degree. Communications degrees are extremely flexible. Think about it. In a security setting like you're asking, you can utilize your communication skills every single day as a security guard. I'm using my communication skills right now by making this video, right? If you want to work in management in a security company, having a communications degree is applicable. If you want to work in the public relations side or the marketing side or the account executive side of a communications degree is applicable. I think that more than any other degree, a communications degree is probably the most flexible degree that you can get. Another great degree would be a psychology or sociology degree. Again, think about what you do on a daily basis. If you're working in environments where you're dealing with people, having a psychology or sociology degree would be extremely important. If you're working for a large company like Securitas or Allied Universal, having a psychology degree or a sociology degree would be great for management. Also, think about what is increasingly becoming more important in the private security field and law enforcement, and that's psych evaluations. Now, I'm going to assume that in large part, they're going to do psych evaluations at a very high level. I don't know if you have to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist to do that, but I would assume, like everything else, there's generally areas where they go down that ladder and utilize people that have a similar background and area of focus to fill those gaps. Think about how many security guards there are. Here in Oregon, we have over 30,000. Let me say this again. We have over 30,000 private security guards. They're saying that within the next 1 to 3 years, they are going to mandate a psychological evaluation for every private security guard. I don't know that we have enough, let's just say psychologists. I don't think that we have enough psychologists in the state of Oregon to evaluate 30,000 private security guards. So having a psychology degree or having a sociology degree might end up being the absolute low-level barrier of entry to facilitate giving some of those exams or some of those tests. Don't quote me, okay? I could be completely off base and you might be like listening to this going, this dude has no fucking clue. Fair point, okay? My point is that much like when I was in the military, most of our medical evaluations, most of our doctor's visits, they were done with nurse practitioners. They weren't done with doctors. You rarely saw the doctor, and if you did see the doctor, you saw the doctor way down the line. It was generally either a nurse or a nurse practitioner. If it was something that was pseudo-serious, it was a nurse practitioner. I can see in a situation where they're doing mental health evals, or they're doing psychological exams for private security, I can see that filtering down to people that have bachelor's degrees, maybe even a master's degree in sociology or psychology. Accounting. An accounting degree would be awesome in private security. And again, this would put you in a position where we're talking about management opportunities or corporate opportunities. Guys, there's a huge push right now. There's a huge push at the government level. There's a huge push in society telling people that you do not need a degree. College doesn't matter. College is worthless. College is a waste of time. College is a waste of money. And then you have the federal government, the executive branch rather, stepping in and saying, we're going to go ahead and just cancel the debt of all the people that have gone to college. Basically asserting that the time and the effort that people have sacrificed to go to school, don't worry about it. Because if you don't have to pay it back, then that devalues the effort that it takes to get that degree. Does that make sense? You're being told on all sides that you don't need an education. And my statement on that is buyer beware. I don't want to go into my socialism rant, but I think that a lot of people are being sold that, number one, you don't need a degree. You can just become a social media influencer. You can stay at home, get universal basic income, right? That the government will take care of all your needs. Don't worry about it. I think that that's a trap. I do think that that is a trap because ultimately, I think that they are trying their absolute best to kind of deflate and devalue the American populace. Now, I don't want to go down my little conspiracy theory rant. Okay, I don't have the tinfoil hat on, but I do see that there's kind of a push to kind of stupefy the people, right? I think that if you have the desire to go to school, if you have the means, if you have the opportunity, more education is never a bad thing, especially in an environment like private security, because as long as you're interacting with people, as long as you are in a position of any perceived authority, I think that it is so important for you to be more educated. We can get into the argument of if school is indoctrination, but I think that school gives people an opportunity, regardless of what they get their degree in, regardless of what they study. It gives people an opportunity to do two things: research and critically think. Let me say that again: research and critically think. And working in private security or working in law enforcement, working with the public, those are two very important aspects of just being a more rational level human being. And I don't think that you're going to ever do yourself a disservice or a disjustice by doing that. Now, one other thing that I want to say: getting your degree and working in private security perfectly aligns with you working on a college campus environment. I think that with everything that we've seen over the last maybe say month that's happened at college campuses, you working in a security capacity on college campus is definitely going to be a great option. Now, if you have your degree, that might not play any part in what you're doing as a security officer on that campus. But here's the cool thing. Once you get your foot in the door, the opportunity for you to move laterally. So maybe you move from the security department into some aspect of administration. And if you're able to do that based on the fact that you now have that college degree, which is more than likely going to be a prerequisite for you to laterally move into some sort of faculty position, school position. Think about all of the perks that come with that. A lot of times you'll get your tuition paid for if you choose to go for your master's. A lot of times, depending on the level of the school, whether it's like a state college or a university, you might be able to get your kids to go to that school for free. The opportunity for you to work there long enough to potentially get a retirement. There's lots of great benefits if you were to move laterally, and you can also do that in the corporate setting. So just by having that degree, it is a ticket. Even if you're not utilizing it for what you're currently doing in the security aspect, if you're on the corporate side, if you're working in the hospitals, if you're working at the university or the college level, it is a ticket that once you get your foot in that door, you might be able to parlay that into some other aspect of employment. All right. So let's recap. Number one was criminal justice. Definitely can't go wrong. Perfectly aligns with what you're doing in terms of working in public safety. Going for your EMS, I thought was awesome. I mean, you're never going to not have work if you're working as an EMS or EMT or a paramedic. The next thing was communication. You're going to always utilize communication, and a communication degree can be utilized in any aspect of employment, not just private security. Sociology and psychology, that being in the fact that if you're working with people, you're working around people, and then also with the mandates that are going to be coming down for mental health evaluations, I think that is going to be a big market. I think it's going to be a greatly big market, especially as they start to mandate that more in states. If they're doing it in California and they're doing it in Oregon, just know that it's going to come to a state near you, okay? Unless you're all the way down in like Texas or something. They might already be doing that. The last, I think, was accounting. Accounting and business management. Again, accounting and business management is going to put you in a position where you have an opportunity to work at those corporate levels. And then definitely you can utilize accounting and business management in any other field. I would say that you're getting a degree as a private security guard not only puts you in a position to weed you out and separate you from other people in terms of management and corporate positions in the security field. Also, you might not do security forever. Even if you're saying right now that you love private security, you found a niche, you think it's a great thing, you like it, you want to stay in it, that could change tomorrow. The contract could go away tomorrow. A whole host of things could happen. You having the opportunity to fall back on that degree is never going to be a bad thing, okay? So I think that you're definitely on the right track. Don't let people dissuade you or tell you that it doesn't matter or that it's not important, because it is, okay? So congrats to you. Congrats on thinking about your future. And yeah, man, go out there and crush it. All right, let me see if I have anything that needs to be hit on. Communication degrees always has aspects. Yep. What are you? That doesn't make any sense. All right, nothing of importance. All right, guys, listen, it's Saturday. Go out, enjoy yourself. Hopefully, wherever you're at, the sun is shining, and that's a beautiful day. But the fact that you're awake, you're alive, you're upright, and you're healthy, it's a beautiful day no matter what. All right, you guys go out there, do your absolute best. If you are working, Keep your head on a swivel. Be safe. Okay? Watch your back, watch your six, and as always, be great. Talk to you later, guys.